Build a tribe, not just a following. Seth Godin. From the moment you step into a room, your words ripple like stones skipping across still water, each phrase carrying the potential to inspire action, build trust, and forge alliances. Imagine starting your day with the realization that every conversation, every presentation, every casual chat is an opportunity to speak with influence and lead with vision. When you speak from conviction and see beyond the horizon, people lean in, eager to follow the path you light. The journey begins before you utter your first word. You wake early, not to check messages, but to align your mind and heart. You sit in silence, recalling why you chose this endeavor, why you launched your startup, why you invested in your venture, why you believe in change. You breathe deeply, and in that breath you summon clarity. Your voice is a beacon, and your vision will be its charge. By the first week, you challenge yourself to listen more than you speak. You schedule conversations not to pitch, but to understand. You meet a seasoned entrepreneur who shares a challenge. Her team feels disconnected from the company's purpose. Instead of offering advice, you ask questions. What moves you? Where do you see your organization in 5 years? In listening, you learn the art of influence. It is born from empathy and the willingness to dig into others' motivations. In the second week, you try on a new habit, storytelling. You recall a moment from your past, perhaps the night you stayed late in college, wrestling with a problem that later became your breakthrough. You frame it as a tale of perseverance, of doubt, met with determination. When you share that story at a small investor pitch, you notice their eyes light up, not because of data on your slides, but because they feel your journey. Influence flows from authenticity. By weeks 3 and 4, you confront fear. The fear of speaking up in meetings, of voicing bold ideas, of standing alone against skepticism. You recall a time you spoke with trepidation, maybe at a networking event where your voice trembled. Now, in that same situation, you lean into vulnerability. You prepare a short introduction that reveals not just your professional accomplishments, but your passion for solving problems. When you deliver it, your voice is steady, your gaze unwavering. You feel influence sparking, people nod, and conversations deepen. At the close of the first month, you test your burgeoning skills with a live presentation to a room of potential collaborators. You sketch your vision on a whiteboard, a future where your product transforms lives, where your team thrives, where your brand stands as a force for good. You invite questions and welcome debate. In that room, you witness the power of vision coupled with dialogue. People begin to see themselves in your story and commit to roles they hadn't imagined. Month 2 dawns with a commitment to clarity. You spend an hour each morning refining how you explain your purpose in under 15 seconds, your personal mission statement. You practice it in front of the mirror until the words feel effortless. When a surprising opportunity arises, an invitation to speak at a local conference, you stand on stage and deliver that statement. The room falls silent, then breaks into applause. Influence arises from simplicity and conviction. Midway through month 2, you notice a shift. Colleagues start approaching you not just for tasks, but for guidance. They ask about your priorities, your approach to challenges. You realize leadership isn't about titles, it's about setting direction through communication. You hold impromptu huddles. You gather your project leads and share your vision for the coming quarter. You ask for their input, and you incorporate their ideas. You have sparked collective ownership. In month 3, you face pushback. Investors question your strategy. Teammates challenge your assumptions. You could react defensively, but instead you choose curiosity. You gather feedback, sift through criticism, and respond with openness. You host a feedback session. You listen without interruption, take notes, and thank each speaker. Then you distill the insights and adjust your roadmap. In doing so, you demonstrate that true influence is earned by humility and responsiveness. As spring turns to early summer in month 4, you experiment with another facet of influence, mentoring. You pair with a junior founder who struggles to articulate her value proposition. You meet weekly, guiding her through exercises, crafting narratives around her product, aligning her team behind a shared dream, finding her authentic tone. As she grows in confidence, you realize that leadership is amplified when you empower others to find their own voices. Reaching the halfway mark of the year, you plan a pivotal event. A live-streamed vision cast to your entire community, clients, investors, partners. You spend days polishing your message. You balance strategy with inspiration, data with stories. On the day, you talk about the impact you've achieved, the lessons learned from missteps, and the horizon you're eager to chase next. The chat fills with excitement. Registrations for your new initiative surge. You sense the magic. Vision shared fearlessly unlocks momentum. In month 7, a crisis unfolds. A technical failure disrupts service for hours, and displeased customers voice frustration on social media. Instead of hiding, you step forward. You post a transparent update. You own the mistake, explain the fix, and outline measures to prevent a recurrence. You follow the post with a live Q&A where you address concerns. Your candor de-escalates anger. You turn a potential PR disaster into proof of your commitment and credibility. Month 8 brings expansion. You open discussions with international partners. You prepare a pitch tailored to a culture where face-to-face connection matters most. You learn a few greetings in their language. You adapt your examples to local market contexts, and you weave anecdotes that resonate with their values. When you present, you bridge worlds. You earn respect, and soon you have distribution deals in new regions. Influence transcends borders when you speak their language of trust and vision. In month 9, you mentor your entire team on communication skills. You hold workshops. You demonstrate the anatomy of a compelling message, teach them to structure talks around real-world problems and aspirational outcomes, and coach them on non-verbal cues. How posture and tone reinforce belief. You assign practice sessions, record and review. Week by week, you watch your team's confidence grow, and with it, the influence of your collective voice. As the year nears its close in month 10, you prepare a major shareholder gathering. You design the presentation not as a data dump, but as a narrative arc. Where you came from, the battles you've won, the lessons in the trenches, and the vista you now pursue. You pepper stories of customers whose lives you changed, an entrepreneur scaling impact in her community, an investor whose faith in you bore fruit. You leave numbers to speak for themselves, but let human stories tell your deeper truth. In those final 2 months, you refine your daily practices. You block time not only for work but for reflection on how you communicate. You keep a journal of moments when your words hit home and moments when they fell flat. You analyze your tone, your pace, your choice of words. You notice that pauses can be as powerful as points, that a single illustrative phrase can echo longer than a page of exposition. On the last day of your year-long journey, you stand at the front of the room, surrounded by a team that has grown in skill and spirit. You look out and see faces alight with trust and belief. You speak not from slides but from the heart. You share how speaking with influence and leading with vision transformed your venture and, more profoundly, transformed you. You realize that influence is not a magic trick, but a habit, a commitment to listen, to empathize, to craft messages that resonate with shared purpose. You understand that vision is more than a statement. It is a rallying point that guides every choice. When you combine both, you build movements, inspire innovation, and leave a legacy. Now imagine the next chapter. What stories will you tell? What horizons will you reveal? Who will you bring along? The power to speak with influence and lead with vision is yours to wield, and once you've felt its force, you'll never choose to do anything less.